So, Chris, just a final question before we go into the rapid fire segment.
Hmm.
While researching for the episode, I I heard that you have a personal mission statement, and do
Yes.
correct me if I'm getting this wrong, which is helping interesting people do interesting things.
Yes.
So my question is, how did you come up with this mission statement, this personal mission statement, and what might have been some other iterations that it must have gone through for you to come down and say, "Hey, this is it, and this is my personal mission statement." So could you talk a little about that?
Absolutely. So there are obviously two parts to it, right? There is the helping other people and there's the interesting people and interesting things. And I would say the interesting part is probably the part that developed first. As somebody who was growing up who really enjoyed being entertaining and who enjoyed being entertained, I really had a focus on interestingness. And in many ways, when I was at Stanford, I was making choices based on what was interesting. I thought creative writing was interesting. I thought product design was interesting, not just to me, but to other people as well. I enjoyed standing out and being unusual. I enjoyed being someone that people would remember. And so that was the interesting part. But it was primarily an individual focus. And probably like many of you and your listeners who are high achievers, when I was young, I would resent group projects. And I resented them because it meant I was being slowed down by working with other people. And really, if they just let me work on this by myself, I'd do a better job and faster. It would be so much easier, anyways. And those are all typically true. I often tell founders, I said, listen, the reason you're a founder is that you are really talented and intelligent and hardworking. And you are probably better than everyone at your company at everything, with the possible exception of maybe some highly technical things if you're a non technical co founder and you have an engineering team. But there's only one of you. And there's only so much you can do as a lone genius in this world. And you really need to be able to figure out how to work with others. And that was the lesson I gradually learned as I grew older and matured. I realized, hey, being an incandescent individual genius is fine, but it only extends so far. And really, in order to get things done, you have to work with others. That's where doing things like being a product manager really come into play, right? That is a question of influence. And even though when I was young, I resented having responsibility without authority, I eventually realized that's the basic natural state of life. Nobody's a dictator. Everyone's got to persuade other people into doing other things. And what I realized over time is I was more interested in being involved in the most interesting things than I was in being the headliner, the person who got all the credit for it. Because it was my observation that when something is enormously successful, there's plenty of credit to go around and everyone benefits. And moreover, if you focus just on the things you do yourself, you're very limited. You can only do one or two things at a time. And it really felt to me like I could have a lot more impact in the world by helping other people, who are tightly focused and who are going to carry this project through to make their project more effective, to gently shape it and influence it. And so that's how I came up with my mission statement. I gradually realized that my natural personality was not such that I had to obsessively be in charge of something and get all the credit for it, but rather that I just wanted to touch as many interesting things as possible and have as large an impact as possible. And by helping others, I could gain leverage and have a much bigger impact. And whether that is by working with them directly, one on one, as in a mentorship relationship, or whether it is working on a one to many basis by writing a book or giving a talk at a conference or something like that. Those are the things that I wanted to devote my time to because I thought those were the best use of my time and best fit with what I actually wanted out of life.